welcome to Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
I'm Rad.
I'm Goose. And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
We've seen so many games get remastered into HD this year, but there's one that I've been particularly looking forward to, the original Crash Bandicoot on PS4. Guys, today's the day.
Yeah, and it's not only the first game, it's also the second and the third.
It's an N-Sane Trilogy.
Also eating up our gaming time this week has been the survival role-playing of Portal Knights.
There's a lot more to it than Minecraft-esque graphics. And on top of all of that, Bajo, you and I are up for the next round of the Spawn Point League.
Oh, bring it on, Goose.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
But before any of that, fire up your frontal lobes, Spawnlings, because it's time for D.A.R.R.E.N's Challenge! Today, I'm asking you this. In Crypt of the Necrodancer, what cursed musical instrument must be destroyed to finish the game? Answer at the end of the show.
What a tricky challenge, Darren. All right, let's get on with the show.
The vortex is not ready. We have no idea what it could do. Capture him!
Uh-oh. Crash is back. There's only one thing I like more than Sonic spins, and that's Bandicoot spins. And now he is here in remastered glory.
Oh, and doesn't he look Bandicoot? Crash Bandicoot N-Sane Trilogy is a remaster of the first 3 games in the series. Crash Bandicoot, Cortex Strikes Back, and Warped. Your goal differs in each game as you battle against the evil Dr. Neo Cortex.
If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we'll need to find an enemy.
There's a lot of crystal collecting to do, a lot of enemies to spin at and jump on, and a lot of crates to smash.
Crates and crystals, popular items in many games from that era. But this is no ordinary remaster. All the art, animation, and audio for each game has been redesigned with care and incredible detail. When you put it side by side with the first original game from 21 years ago, you can immediately see how much work has gone into bringing these games back to life.
Oh, absolutely, Darren. It is so beautiful. The level design is the same, but the look and feel to this game is much more modern. From the cutscenes to the detail in the backgrounds, this truly feels like it belongs in 2017, especially the third game, Warped. Even Crash himself feels easier and just more fun to control. Now, Rad, this is the first time you've actually played Crash Bandicoot, right?
Yeah, I know that people really love this series, but I don't have the nostalgia for it, so when I played it for the first time, I didn't really quite get what the hype was about. It felt a little too old school in sections. I'd be having a really great time, and then all of a sudden I'd be hit with a massive difficulty wall, and my fun would just end and I'd lose all my hard-earned lives. I may have maybe once or twice rage quit a little bit.
Understandable. The first Crash Bandicoot, while a breakout game for the PlayStation, did suffer from some difficulty balance issues, especially in the more difficult boulder levels.
True, Darren, I've played those levels so many times and still I struggle with them. And a big part of it is because you're running towards the camera, so it's quite hard to see what's in front of you. And the worst part is you always die just before a checkpoint. But you can save and retry levels, and also I think the game overall plays heaps better than the original. What about the second game, Rad? Did that change your mind?
It totally did. Cortex Strikes Back was a heap of fun. There was more diversity in the levels, a better camera view for Crash, and jet skis. Whee!
The second game is great, isn't it? I actually think it's a bit harder, but the difficulty is more balanced overall, so it's just more fun.
The water and rain effects are also excellent, and Crash has a few extra moves. He can slide and crash to the ground, truly making him a Crash Bandicoot. It was a solid sequel, and the remastered version is even better.
But if you thought the second game was good, then Warped, the third one, is even better. time travel, racing tracks, kitty tiger riding, beautiful and explosive underwater levels, and, my favorite, medieval zones with wizards and cute goats. Oh, cute goats are like the best thing ever.
Oh, they are the best! The third game is actually so good. And even better, you get to play as Crash's younger sister, Coco. And her outfit is fantastic.
Oh, I know, I just love overalls.
I do like Coco, but she has no respect for technology.
What do you mean, Darren?
Well, she's always carrying her laptop around in such dangerous environments. Laptops are very fragile pieces of hardware. I get very worried for them.
Well, it's nice of you to worry about the laptops, Darren, but I was more worried about Coco and Crash. These levels are tricky. And the enemy design is kicked up a notch for the third game, with difficult encounters such as this ape and his pots. Stupid pots!
Final thoughts, you two?
Well, quite simply, this is one of the best remasters I have ever played. It was a huge nostalgia hit for me, and I just loved every minute of it. So I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I loved it too, Bajo. You know, I'd recommend this solely based on the third game alone, but the fact that you get 1 and 2 as well is just an extra bonus. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
No. Welcome back for another round of the Spawn Point League for 2017. Today's matchup is between Goose and Bajo in a fierce game of NBA Playgrounds. But before we slam, or jam for that matter, let us observe the traditional pre-game handshake.
All right, Bajo, good luck.
Good luck, Goose.
All right, let's have a fair game. I'm going to be the Orlando Magic.
A tremendous upset. By choosing first, Goose's team has seized the chance to wear Bajo's trademark shade of Sonic Blue. Can Bajo ever recover?
Not too much pushing.
Not too much pushing?
No, we want to have a fair, safe
fair-
game.
Okay, good luck. Don't go for it too soon. Don't go for it too soon, Goose.
A classic psych out from Bajo.
You went too soon, Goose. I got it.
Oh, fancy long-range pass. Oh, but no, he's lost it. Goose with possession. Oh, he's been shoved. Now, Bajo has all the time he needs to line up 3 points.
And the first hoop goes to Bajo. Goose has control.
For 3!
And the Feathered Fury equals the score. Bajo regains control and strides across the comically small court. A slam dance move there from Bajo. A golden egg opportunity, but it slips through Goose's feathery fingers. And now a shot clock violation. That's what happens when you hog the rock. Can Goose regain some momentum?
What's he doing? Ah, a slam dunk.
Goose is in the lead, but not for long.
Bajo evens the score.
But it's not over yet. Some impressive passing from Team Goose astride the court like jolly blue giants.
He shoots. A terrible miss.
Oh no, you got it back. Push in.
He's missed it again. Now Bajo's in control.
Leave my team alone.
And boom shakalaka! Another 2 points.
Bajo's won the power-up lottery. His next shot will go in no matter what.
There it is. He's on fire. Literally.
4 points behind. Everything is on the line for Goose.
Oh, slow-mo. Boom. No. Boom shaka, no.
He takes flight and bam! He's really rubbing it in now.
Bajo widens his lead to 6 points. Not looking good for Goose.
Oh, yes. Nice one.
Finally, could Goose be turning the tide?
He's the rim again in quick succession. What a comeback.
2 points. And with that, Goose is within a stone's throw of victory. Nice height bonus there for Goose, but he'll need it.
Oh, go computer!
Goose's big chance to level the scores. But it's a miss. Only seconds left.
One last goal attempt for Goose. But it's too late, and that's time.
Oh, so close, Goose.
And Bajo wins on 11 points.
Just look at that disappointment. That's 2 rounds of the Spawn Point League concluded. And if we look at the scoreboard, Bajo boasts a powerful lead of 2 points.
Fair enough.
Well played.
Well played. Yeah.
But it's still early days for the season, and the question remains, who will walk away as the ultimate Spawn Point League champion and claim the ultimate prize? Well, this is Darren signing out from the SPL commentary box. Remember, Spawnlings, play fair and have fun. And we're clear? Oh, Who's up for a nice crepe Suzette? I'll whip some up. I love French cookery.
All right, Brad, hit us up with some of those cues because we want some A's happening.
You got it, Bajo. First up, we have this one from Citron with a C, who is in Suburbia, New South Wales.
Rockin' the suburbs.
Howdy, good game. I have 3 Plants vs. Zombies related questions. 1. Is it true that PopCap are making a Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 3? 2. Why didn't you guys review PVZ2? 3. Do you know of any ways I can get PVZ2 China Edition in English on my PC? Thanks from the far future!
Well, Citron from the future with a C. The short answer is we don't know if they are making Garden Warfare 3, but the long answer is maybe.
Oh wait, I think you'll find that your long answer is actually shorter than your short one.
Or is it?
Yeah, it is.
But it isn't, because the reason I say maybe is because there was a recent job posting at developer PopCap, and it was looking for someone to work on a AAA shooter within the Plants vs. Zombies franchise, which sounds to me like it could very well mean that yes, they are working on Garden Warfare 3.
Ooh, that's exciting, isn't it? Some good sleuthing there, Bajo. But of course, that doesn't really mean much without an official announcement. So until we hear it straight from the source that there is in fact a Garden Warfare 3 in development, I'd take all of that with a couple big grains of salt.
Yeah, keep it salty, indeed. As for why we didn't review Plants vs. Zombies 2, well, that would be a good question if we didn't review it, but we did review it, and you can find that review on our website in the review section under P for Plants vs. Zombies 2.
And I don't know if there is a way to get Plants vs. Zombies 2 Chinese edition on your PC in English. I mean, I know the game was released for mobile, so I don't think you can get it on your PC, let alone in English.
There are ways to get some mobile games to run on a PC, but I always find it's not really worth the effort.
Yeah, it's quite tricky, isn't it? Well, anyway, let's move on now to this one from the Keyblade Master, who is in Destiny Island, Queensland.
Destiny Island,
Destiny?
where your destinies come true.
Destiny?
Hey GGSP, I have a question for Rad and Goose. When you went to E3, was there any news on Kingdom Hearts 3? And if so, was there a new trailer? And could you show a sneak peek? P.S. Banjo and Rad do these.
Ah!
Oh, what? Hasha. Whoa. Thanks, Keyblade Master, out.
Well, Keyblade Master, sadly, Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't playable at E3, and it wasn't on the show floor at all. But the developers didn't want to miss out on all the fun, and they did release a fancy new trailer. So let's have a quick look.
Sadly, though, they didn't give us any new information about when we can actually expect to play it. It's been in development for ages.
Ages and ages. But they did say at the end of the trailer that there would actually be a whole new trailer coming out this weekend. So fingers crossed there's a little more info in it for you. But speaking of games in development for ages, let's move on now to this from Michael, who is in somewhere in New South Wales.
But where?
Somewhere! Dear Good Game SP, I have some questions. 1. How many years does it take to make an Avagigi game? 2. What would be the best game to recommend on a 3DS? P.S. D.A.R.R.E.N, do this. Let's give him a ring it. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Darren. Well, Michael, that's a bit of a tricky one. I mean, there's almost no such thing as an average game these days. They come in so many shapes and sizes and take hugely different amounts of time to make.
Yeah, some small developers can crank out a pretty good game in just a weekend at a game jam, while I know of some games that took over 10 years to get made.
Ages. But I'd say if we were to count big AAA studios making big blockbuster games as your average game, then those typically run on a 2 or 3 year production cycle.
I'd say 2 or 3 years is usually a pretty average amount of time for most games to get made, even if it's a smaller indie developed game or a blockbuster.
Indeed, I think for a lot of developers that's sort of a sweet spot where they have long enough to make a great game and keep up to date with the latest hardware and technology, and hopefully still be making money from their last game to fund the new one.
If games take much longer than that, then they often get stuck in what a lot of people call development hell, where something isn't going right with the project behind the scenes. Hopefully, though, that's not the case with Kingdom Hearts 3, which was announced, 4 years ago now?
Yeah, it was officially announced in 2013, but I've heard that work first began on it after Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which came out in 2006. So Possibly, they've been working on it for over a decade.
Whew, that's a long time. Well, sometimes these grand passion projects just take a lot of time. But let's move on now to this from Darren Must Drink, who is from the Noob Cup in New South Wales. He's from the Noob Cup.
Sounds like a Noob Cup accusation on the way.
From the Noob Cup.
Hey, Spawn Point, I have one question you need to answer very urgently, which is, when will Supercell's Brawl Stars be released for Android? I really want the game. It looks so fun. Thanks.
Well, Darren Must Drink, it seems like Supercell has only done a soft launch of Brawl Stars at the moment, which is sort of like a beta for mobile games.
So at the moment, it's only available for iOS in Canada. That way they can do some testing of their online servers and balance the gameplay to make sure it all works perfectly before they launch it to other platforms and throughout the rest of the world.
As for when that will be, well, who knows? Supercell has simply said that depending on how the soft launch goes, the team will decide if they want to take it further.
Yes, and Supercell has actually cancelled games during soft launches before, so that could mean if players don't like it and it doesn't make much money, then it might never come out. But it has apparently been doing very well, so we'd guess it will launch fully on all devices within a few months.
Can't wait. Well, let's move on now, and we have a video question from Elliot.
Hello, Good Game Spawn Point. I have 2 questions for you today. In Pokemon Fighters EX, what is the code for Zombie Sandal and Illuminati Zatu? P.S. Bajo, do these.
What? Oh, you got me! Well, Elliot, we've never played Pokemon Fighters EX. In fact, I've never even heard of it. Is it a real Pokemon game?
Oh, well, there's the new Pokken Tournament DX coming out later this year, but he can't mean that one. Let me get Darren on the horn and see if he can figure this one out for us.
Good thinking.
Hello, Darren speaking.
Hey, Darren,
Hi.
we were just wondering, have you ever heard of Pokemon Fighters EX? We can't think of any official Pokemon games that are called that.
Ah, well, that's because it is not an official Pokemon game. Pokemon Fighters EX is a user-made game within Roblox.
All right, well, we have a spawnling here who was wondering if we could give him the codes for a zombie Sandile and an Illuminati Zatu. Could you help me out with that?
Sorry to say, I don't seem to be able to process that request. I've searched for codes for such Pokemon, but they appear to be either invalid, expired, or non-existent. All I could suggest is that the game's developer, UglyPo, does post new codes on social media, so you may simply have to keep an eye out for those.
Wait, how are they getting away with making an unofficial Pokemon game like that? Nintendo usually shuts those kinds of projects down.
Uncertain. Perhaps they're simply unaware of it.
So by answering this question, we might accidentally lead to Nintendo shutting it down?
Possibly.
Thanks, Darren. Bye.
Hi, Darren.
Well, sorry we couldn't be more helpful, Elliot, but if anyone knows any codes, let us know. On that note, we are out of time for this week, so if you've got a question that you'd like to ask us, you can go here and send it in.
Right, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you could make any kind of Pokemon, what would it be?
Oh, it would be me, but with more legs and boat meal stuck to my side all the time.
Oh, nice. So you could just run forever.
Yeah, what
Run
about you?
Me, it'd be me, but with like 17 faces.
Oh.
Yeah, you can always keep a cheese sandwich going at any time.
Oh!
Portal Knights is a sandbox action game with some class-based RPG elements. This means you get all the mining, crafting, and exploration that makes Minecraft so captivating, mixed in with the questing and adventuring of RPG games.
When you start, you can choose to be a warrior, a ranger, or a mage. Tried and true classics.
Absolutely. Each class has a different combat style and skills, but your mission is still the same. Repair portals and restore peace to a world torn apart by the fracture.
You repair portals by crafting portal blocks and placing them within an empty frame. Then you can activate them to warp to a brand new island. Each island has different plants, inhabitants, and resources to collect.
It feels great to step through a portal and gaze upon a new land.
Although I do have to say, I played this on PS4 and the loading screens were a little bit too long. It sort of discourages you from jumping between islands a bit.
Indeed, Rad. However, you can fast travel between islands, so at the very least you don't need to backtrack through every single island to get back to the first one.
I liked this island system. It made it easy to see new environments and worlds without having to walk across large areas, you know? Made the game feel really nice and snappy. In fact, when you begin, it doesn't take long to feel like you're really making progress. This is in part thanks to the early tutorial, which springboards you into the game. And in general, this game rocks along at a great pace.
I like that it has more direction than your usual sandbox game, because I find in those games I often get a bit overwhelmed if I don't have a clear goal in mind. There's non-player characters who give you little quests, and they're all scattered enough that it's genuinely exciting when you stumble across one.
The quests are pretty simple, but it's enough to keep pulling you deeper into the game. Although I have to say, I didn't like that there's no mini-map. It made finding the quest givers really difficult after you finished a quest.
Yeah, I agree, but also I found I didn't really care about completing quests in this game that much. I wasn't so obsessed with it. Like all good sandbox games, Portal Knights has a great sense of distraction. 1 second you'll be heading towards something in the distance, the next you'll be exploring a dungeon or doing some gardening.
Ah, something for everyone. And of course, you have the freedom to build and create within the world to your heart's content.
And this game just looks so lovely. It has such a delightful, bright feel to it. I loved the rounded edges and cartoony look to everything. It's just so nice, I never wanted to not be in this game.
Oh, and just to make you want to stay even longer, there's pets in the game. Meet my cat Lando, named after Goose's cat Lando. Oh, so cute. And the character customization is particularly brilliant. One of the few times I feel I made a character that really reflects my personality.
Nice work, Red. I liked it too. I went for Bearded Sonic. He's had a troubled past because he went too fast. Portal Knights also has local and online co-op. It's always fun to explore and build together in games like this, so it's a great inclusion. And it's always great to find a game with split-screen co-op.
Playing with friends certainly adds to the game's longevity, potentially adding hours of playtime.
Portal Knights also feels really accessible. The combat can be super easy, but there's also the option to be more tactical if you want. There's a great lock-on system which you can use to dodge enemy attacks, and it makes it so you never miss your ranged attacks. This was fantastic because locking on is actually my favorite way to do combat with a controller.
Yeah, it was nice to have a bit more to do in the combat with a game like this.
Yeah, and the enemies telegraph their attacks, which means something pops up that lets you know what's coming next so that you can plan ahead.
Also, as you progress, the enemies get tougher and really test your skills. Oh, and then you get to the boss battles.
Oh, affirmative. Little islands with large bosses add a nice bit of variety to the game as you learn their moves to defeat them.
This game is just so great. I instantly fell in love with it from the moment I stepped through a portal. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
It's super polished and it does what it does really well. I explored for hours and never got bored. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Okay, Darren, it's time to hear the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. In Crypt of the Necrodancer, what cursed musical instrument must be destroyed to finish the game? And the answer is the golden lute.
Yes! There's nothing more evil than a badly strung lute.
Yes, but Rad, which is more evil, the badly strung lute or the person who created it?
All I know is school holidays are almost over, and you know what that means? It's time for an all-night gaming sleepover.
Hooray!
Us! Next week, we'll battle it out in Micro Machines World Series and play some of the best new mobile games.
Plus, eat lots of snacks, right? You can't have a school holiday sleepover without snacks.
And sleeping bags, so we can camp out in front of the warm glow of the TV.
I can't wait. Until then, Bajo out.
Rat out.
Goose out.
Darren out.
Oh, guys, what else can we do at a late night sleepover?
Oh, we could tell spooky stories.
Yes.
Have you ever heard the tale of the corrupted hard drive? Once upon a time, there was a gamer who never made any backups. And then one day, he was looking at his computer and it said, "Bad sector."